Hi guys! So in this lecture video, I'll be going over the differences between exact and inexact numbers and how do we identify them. So in science, value have very special meaning to them. While some value are then said to be exact, other value are then said to be inexact. And exact value are those that have no error in them, versus inexact value, they would have error in them. So therefore, be able to identify if a value is exact or inexact. So now let's go over the definition of exact and inexact value. So as we have seen already, exact value are those that have no uncertainty associated. And of course, they are known to be exact. So what kind of value would be classified as exact value? Here it is. Numbers or value that occur or derive from definition are then said to be exact value. And also, numbers or value that obtained by counting are also exact value as well. Because when we count something, then they can either be only that number, right? But then not more or less. And when we count, there are 5 people in this room right here, then there's exactly 5 people in there. So this is why that it is an exact value if the value is obtained by counting. And also value that are derived from definitions are also exact as well, because that is the way how we define them. And so there will be no other way because they are restricted to the definition that we have for them. Okay. And now let's move on over to inexact number. So inexact numbers are basically numbers who have some degree of uncertainty associated. And all numbers that are obtained by measuring are then said to be exact. Because if we are measuring something rather than counting and we measure something, then anytime we make measurement, there's error associated. And therefore, they then say to be inexact value. And one of the things to take notice is as follows. Conversion factors between metric system to the English system are inexact number or value. And please take notice of it. And in some of the textbook, it may say that to simplify, you can assume that conversion factor between metric system to English system are exact value. So some textbook may make that statement, but then that is not a correct statement. Okay, so here in this class right here, we'll be doing what's right, and which is to basically say that conversion factor between metric system to English system are inexact number. Now let's go over some of this example right here. So first, exact value, 12 objects in a dozen. This is an exact number right here. Why? Because this comes from the definition of what a dozen is. A dozen would always equal to 12. We'll never have a dozen that is equal to 11 or 13, right? So a dozen is always equal to 12 because that's the way how we defined it. So therefore, it is an exact number. And again, because this comes from definition. And the second example, 32 students in this classroom. So this value right here, based on the context of it, it is something that we would obtain by counting, right? So I'm counting and seeing there are 32 students in this class. So therefore, this 32 number right here would then be an exact value. Now, if I didn't count the student, but now say about 30 students in this class. So you can see when I say about 30, then that is no longer a counted value, but become an estimated value. And it will not be an exact number. But in this case right here, 32 students in this classroom, this is an exact value because it is obtained by counting. And another example, 1,000 meters equal to a kilometer. So this basically comes from definition, right? Involving the physics. In this case right here, a kilo means 1,000. So therefore, a kilometer equal to 1,000 meters. This comes from definition of what kilo is. So therefore, it would also be an exact value as well. And now let's go over some example of inexact value. 1 kilometer equal to 3,280.84 foot. So in this case right here, you can see kilometer is a unit in the metric system, and foot here is a unit from the English system. And when we convert the units from one system to the other system, it turned out to be some very weird number where it's not nicely rounded, and that one we know it will be an inexact value. So in this case right here, this is basically a measurement value. Now, how we obtain this value as follows. Let's assume we have exactly 1 kilometer, and now we're going to take our ruler in foot and measure how many foot that 1 exact kilometer equal to. And so therefore this value right here that we got right here would be a value obtained by measurement, and this is why that it is an inexact value. And also 1 inch equal to 2.54 centimeter. This is also an example of an inexact value as well. Assuming we have exactly 1 inch, and now let's take our ruler in centimeter and measure to see how much it equal to, and now we obtain 2.54. So therefore this is also a measurement value, and that's why it is an inexact number. So please try this example right here.